The Moza SlyPod is, in theory, the meeting of two products, a monopod and slider, but in reality it's something completely new and something that'll add a whole new dimension to your video projects. Originally funded via a Kickstarter project where incredibly it met its funding target within the first 5 minutes, the Slypod Pro is in essence a 2-in-1 slider come monopod, a clever motorized device that can automatically extend at different speeds. Bigger and more powerful than the Slypod E model, the Slypod Pro sports a set of detachable tripod feet, meaning it can be used vertically as a tripod as well as a horizontal or angled slider as a boom fitted to a regular tripod. Complete with a handy carry case, unvelcroing the Slypod and lifting it out, and the size, weight and design all match up to the quality you'd expect. The carbon tubes are nicely finished and the metal lugs, head and tri-foot are all well designed and solid. In essence, the Slypod Pro can be broken down into 3 parts: the compact pan and tilt head, the main powered monopod and the detachable feet. Starting with the monopod element, in its collapsed state it measures 650mm, that's without the tripod attachment, but thanks to the motor it can be automatically extended to a total length of 1460mm. The clever bit is that you can also regulate the speed as well, with simple controls on the monopod itself consisting of just a power and 2 additional plus and minus buttons, or with a dedicated app, both of which we'll take a look at shortly. Otherwise, we also have 2 mounting points. Both of them have 2 1/4" 20 threads and 2 3/8 16 threads, and a nice touch here is that both of these mounting points also act as an Arca Swiss plate, so if you have Arca Swiss compatible heads, the mounting plates will fit right in. Either way, this provides a solid horizontal mounting ability, a unique twist on something that just looks like a standard monopod. Moza doesn't appear to have cut corners here either. The main monopod unit has been constructed from carbon fibre, weighing in at just under 1.5 kilos, while it's also weatherproof as well. Moving further down though, we have a straightforward lever design to fold out the tripod legs, which feel really solid and are actually quite large, for a monopod at least. Each locks out nice and securely too, holding the vertical structure very firm. Another great feature is the locking mechanism to go from articulated to stiff. This is controlled with a small dial that you turn to release the monopod and allow it to rotate freely on the ball's axis. If you spin the dial the other way, the ball will snap into place once the monopod is upright. Not only does this get the monopod standing up straight quickly, but it will always lock into the same 100% vertical position too, which is a nice added touch. Finally, at the very top we have the compact pan and tilt head. Just like the feet, this is also metal in construction and features some nice smooth movement, as well as an Arca Swiss quick release system. As a basic head, it's actually really nice, articulating in every direction with very fluid movements. Other than the bag, which just feels cheap and a bit of an afterthought compared to the rest of the kit, you really do get what you pay for here, an exceptionally well finished and made unit that feels robust, designed to meet the demands of professional users. So with the feet extended, and a camera mounted to the head at the top, which is easy thanks to the quick release mounting system, you're pretty much ready to go. Of course, you'll want to get the unit charged up beforehand via its USB-C port located under a rubber flap. You should be able to get around 4 hours of use out of it before you'll need to charge it up again, although if that's not enough for you, then the Slypod Pro can still be operated while charging, which also means it can be connected to a suitable battery pack out in the field. Anyways, from here to operate, there's a small power button on the side. Hold this down for a couple of seconds and a green ring light appears at the top of the Slypod indicating it's powered on. Then, by pushing the plus or minus buttons near the power button, the shaft starts to extend or retract. Movement speed can be adjusted by tapping on the buttons respectively. Personally, I didn't find the buttons too comfortable to work with, although fortunately the unit does connect to the Moza Master smartphone app, where you'll find a bunch of nifty controls, such as speed ramping, looping and speed control. There's a few things to play around with here and it's all rather intuitive and well designed, and I've found myself using the app more often than not for generating some smooth shots without having to touch the slider itself. The creative approaches on offer are pretty impressive, with the Slypod Pro working as a great slider or as a jib arm, allowing you to introduce an array of other types of shot into your filmmaking with simple inputs. That's especially true if you partner the Slypod Pro with a gimbal, with various Moza gimbals being compatible. The controls couldn't be simpler, while the app offers that extra level of adjustment if needed. The movement is nice and smooth too, though the motor noise at full speed is pretty loud. It's a beefy motor, so I get why, and it's a lot quieter if you use lower speeds, but never completely silent. The app does have a silent mode, but this simply reduces the maximum speed, so personally I'd recommend external audio capture altogether. The payload varies depending upon the orientation you use, so up to 3.5 kg horizontally and 6 kilos vertically, which might be something to bear in mind should you be planning some large sweeping movements with some heavy kit. If mounted horizontally, you do need to take care that it doesn't topple over while extending too, so balance and a strong tripod are key, although it is quite stable when used vertically. A huge advantage here over a conventional slider is that you never have to worry about the slider tracks being in the shot, as the camera is always ahead of the extending rod. Throughout use it continued to perform exceptionally well. Whether it's for product shots or mini movie projects, the system just works. To be fair though, throughout use I didn't find myself doing much more than the basics, setting the start and end points, setting the speed, and then tapping the extend and contract buttons. Yet, even so, the Slypod Pro is one of those ideas that is so good that you wonder why no one has come up with it before. It might have limited use for stills photography, unless you're shooting time lapses regularly, though it's still a very effective monopod. But for videographers looking for a versatile piece of equipment that will help them achieve a variety of shots in a single device that's also portable enough to pack away, this is ideal. Yes, it's a little loud, so external audio capture is needed. It's a little heavy if you need to lug it around all day, and when used horizontally you do need to ensure your tripod doesn't topple over as the Slypod extends. But on the other hand, it's very robust, and the motion generated by the Slypod is smooth and accurate, instantly giving the footage a more professional look, difficult to simulate in any other way.